Welcome to another episode of Bourbon and Data Breaches, where we cover 5 of the most interesting breaches from this last week. I'm Steve.
I'm Connor.
I'm Frank.
Well, this week we have hackers don't discriminate. They just exfiltrate. From horse races to HR databases, rest in peace, Biden cash. Let's dive into the top 5 most uncomfortably interesting breaches of early June. Buckle up, it's gonna get weird. Starting with story number 5, Rise Racing, the horses got hacked. Australia's harness racing backbone just got smoked by sarcoma ransomware. 1.6 gigs of leaked data could disrupt trainers, clubs, owners, and maybe even your uncle who bets way too much on trotters.
Yeah, so here's a newer ransomware gang. I think they popped up towards the end of last year, who's been super active going after, I guess we'll just go ahead and call it a gambling platform, essentially. We have horse racing. And, when these digital centers for these sports betting sites go down, there's a lot of prize money or bets are affected and probably annoyed from this situation. There's definitely a real impact here. Going back to sarcoma, they've been super aggressive and busy lately, mostly going after smaller, mid-sized companies. This is a good example. Smaller organizations they're targeting are high value in the sense of either are high revenue small organizations, or they have a high impact in terms of the boom of the ransomware attack. Newer gang, very aggressive and targeted with what they're doing. Interested to see what they're going to continue on with.
Yeah, the fact that this operation got hit shows how attackers are going deeper into specialized industries, not just hospital, banks, but even specific niche sport systems. It's one more sign that no matter how specific or local a business might seem, if there's a digital infrastructure, someone's out there going to want to break it. And based on how quiet the response has been, racing probably wasn't ready for this race.
This would be, I believe, arts and entertainment as an industry. And we've seen a few of these before. Betting systems out of Vegas. We saw the MGM breach, but arts and entertainment is not a common category for us. So interesting to see them pop up. Moving on to story number 4, Digital War Room, Discovery meets Disaster. E-Discovery from Digital War Room got cracked open like a sealed court filing. Payment date, names, addresses, all rise from a breach that's basically a subpoena from hackers. This one was done by SafePay.
With a company named Digital War Room, I would expect mountains of firewalls, defenses, protocols, some kind of battle plan. But instead, we're looking at what feels like a war room made out of cardboard. When you're dealing with legal evidence and sensitive case documents, security isn't optional. It's the job. A breach like this doesn't just hurt your reputation. It puts clients, court cases, investigations at risk. If this report turns out to be real, it'll be more than embarrassing. It's dangerous from a professional perspective.
Absolutely. And to your point, anything to do with legal strategy, obviously confidential, highly sensitive data that could impact individuals' privacies, court outcomes, etc. So definitely very sensitive data. You also mentioned the name Digital War Room. I'll speak to the name of the ransomware gang, SafePay. Again, another newer ransomware gang on the block. That name sounds more like a grocery store or a gas station shop, but maybe they're trying to insinuate that it's safe to pay. Regardless, this is also a new ransomware gang similar to sarcoma that's newer and very, very busy. I think 75 claimed attacks in the last 30 days. That's pretty significant.
I like SafePay's ransom site. It's got a little flair to it. I gotta appreciate the small things. Things are about to heat up. Story number 2, American hospital buy 450 million records. Someone call a doctor. Gunra ransomware claimed to have pulled off one of the biggest medical data breaches ever, with 450 million records. This including possible Cerner Millennium data. That's basically a genome-wide privacy violation.
With big players like Logbit Alpha vanishing, we're now seeing smaller, less organized groups fill the vacuum. Gunra. This means more attacks, less structure, and often more recklessness. Groups like this one, Gunra, Sarcoma, what was the other one? SafeBay might have been left off a year ago. Now they are stepping into the spotlight, spreading faster, but not necessarily smarter. There's no longer a central where mafia it's become a free-for-all. That chaos makes it harder to track, harder to predict, and maybe harder as well.
Yeah, and I think I'll sound like a broken record in the fourth week in a row I'll be saying this, but another hospital, another facility or industry that you would hope to feel is off limits, but of course, it's seemingly happening more and more where we have nonprofits, hospitals being attacked by ransomware. And in this case, there was data exfiltration, which leads to privacy concerns, 450 million records. That feels global to me. It was a major part of their IT infrastructure that was encrypted. I'm assuming that definitely led to downtime, as was reported. And as a result, I'm assuming there's a lapse in care. So don't love to hear about that. But yeah, to your point, Frank, more and more smaller ransomware gangs popping into the spotlight. And, it's harder to keep up with all these new gangs and what their strategies and techniques are.
I just love the name Gunra. Sounds like a Nordic speed metal band.
Well, it reminds me of Gundam. Was that like Transformers kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
You
came to
didn't
mind.
get some hate for calling it Transformers.
Understandable.
God, Frank, you need to start a Gunra band.
Yeah. That's a good name for a band.
And our last story number 1, Biden Cash Takedown, law enforcement logs in. Biden Cash, a dark web bazaar for stolen credit cards, PII, and logins, just got vaporized by law enforcement. Say goodbye to your favorite shady carding site. FBI seized the domains and the underground is shook. This is the second time in recent memory that FBI has taken down a major site like this.
Well, finally, we can cheer for. Biden Cash made a name for itself by leaking stolen credit cards, like it was handing out flyers promoting their band or something. They kind of turned data leaks into marketing campaigns, and now they have been shut down by a global task force. About time. It's not the end of cybercrime, obviously. Someone else will try to fill the gap. But this kind of operation, it's hard. And moreover, it's probably built to send a message. If you build your empire on stolen data, don't be surprised when the door gets kicked in.
Yeah, and I agree. Big win for the FBI. I don't want what I'm about to say to take away from, but Biden Cash has been well known for about 3 years now. Lots of credit card data. It's a hard operation to take down. It's finally done. But how long does it take for someone else to spin up Biden Cash 2.0? Maybe a week or two, right? And there's a whole nother cycle where it's 3-4 years to shut that down. It's discouraging to see how easy it is for the hackers to win, but still a small victory for the FBI. Hopefully we see more and more of that.
So this one was interesting because they had a ClearNet site. Obviously, a darknet site would be much harder to take down. And I didn't see any arrests, which means you see the same operators make a new site. They make it harder to take down. It's a bit of a cat and mouse game. Closing thoughts from horse betting to hackers' regret. This week proves no industry is too small, too big, or too shady to get popped. Racing hacked, legal tech hacked, healthcare data hacked, HR software super hacked, and one dark web flea market bazaar gone. Tell us what breach shook you the most, or if your favorite ransomware gang just lost their eBay for stolen credentials. Until next time.